Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Star Wars Stuff Podcast. My name is David.
And my name is James, and here we talk about all things Star Wars. But before we talk about all things Star Wars, we have some people to thank. So go for it, David.
Yes, we want to definitely thank our awesome Patreon supporters out there, starting with Darth Ace 1, Liam McCallion, Chris Simpson, Kevin Leininger, Deb McCaffrey, Drew Peters, Zach Netzel, Maya Morris, Maka Tautala, Adam Haber, Brad Mackey, Front Row King, Darth Beard, Indiana Solo, and Mariana Atia Arnold. Thank you so much for being the awesome supporters that you are.
Speaking
And
of Mariana.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah.
Right
yes,
on cue.
Thank you so much for supporting us and helping us out.
So we got 3 big news items to talk about.
Okay. I only know of one, so thank you for prepping me for this one. But what do we got?
And James just dropped one huge one on me right before we aired.
Well, we're not going to talk about that yet. We'll talk about it when things are in stone. So yeah.
So also before, and I have a bombshell to drop on James too that he doesn't even know yet.
What?
But we'll see
What's
how he
happening?
reacts. So also go visit legionsabers.com. Use the code STUFF at checkout for 15% off. And you can get an awesome lightsaber or 2 or 3.
Or 3, yeah.
So yeah, legionsabers.com. So I'll drop the big bombshell on James. Maybe it'll affect his mood here on the podcast.
I'm a little nervous.
So I have decided that Star Wars Stuff Podcast is going to have a large presence at MegaCon in February. So yeah, I bought my flight. And we'll be hanging out with Legion Sabers. They will have a booth at MegaCon in Orlando, February 6th through the 9th, I believe. So yeah, I'll be going there this Thursday. James, I hope you go. I'm not sure if you're going to go, but Head's also possibly going from Cat Density Geeks. Also, Colin will be there. So you'll at least see Colin and I at MegaCon. If you do go to MegaCon Orlando, you'll see us roaming around Disney Springs, the convention center, reliving the midnight madness that was the DJ playing in that huge hangar.
Oh my god!
Holding area for the 40th panel. Yeah,
that was something else to hear that DJ come on. It was like 2 a.m. Everybody was like, "All right, we're all calm. Let's start to go to bed." Then he comes up, what's up, Celebration? And we're like, oh, here we go. And yeah, that was
it was insane. But yeah, I found a pretty cheap flight. And
oh, nice.
Yeah, we're going to be staying with Legion Sabers, actually. So you'll see a lot of us. I'm going to have quite a bit of swag. If you run into us in Orlando, I have a lot of stickers. I have... what else do I got? I think it's mostly just stickers as of right now. Oh, I have some pins too.
Nice.
I'm not sure how many I'm saving for Japan. I could probably order more because I wasn't anticipating going to Orlando. But yeah, so we're going to do that. And of course, the big headline here, and Knights of the Old Republic TV show?
Question mark?
Also, at the very end of the podcast, I'm going to talk about the other big topic, which could possibly be spoilery for Andor Season 2. But it's just a rumor, but it might be true.
Okay.
Because it makes sense. So, yeah, we'll talk about that later in the show. If you have any questions, comments, put them in the chat. We'll address them. We had a lot of fun, I think, what was it, Sunday night with addressing all the questions out there in chat. But yeah, I was at lunch today and I saw all these posts pop up that the Knights of the Republic might be a TV show. And on the podcast, we've been asking for Knights of the Old Republic, something other live action. But we all know that they're trying to stay away from TV shows and they're trying to do movies. So they say. I'm not quite sure that that's really the case at this point. It feels like they just said that and maybe they're going back on what they said, or maybe they're just finishing out the scheduled series that they had planned. I'm not quite sure. But apparently, this news comes to us from the scooper Daniel RPK. He has a pretty decent track record. He has a lot of followers. He broke this, and there's a website that kind of details this, Dark Horizons, and basically it just talks about the Knights of the Republic is a scheduled TV show to actually drop, and I mean, there's just that's pretty much all the information we have. But it raises a lot of questions, and of course, we do, like Darth Beard says on YouTube, we need Knights of the Old Republic. What is Knights of the Old Republic? It's one of the greatest video games of all time, not just Star Wars video games, but one of the greatest video games of all time. I remember with the original Xbox, I bought that game thinking like, okay, I hope this is good. I tried playing it. It was a turn-based RPG, which I'm not too big of a fan of, but it was Star Wars, and there's a little bit of hype. And then as time passed, I would play it a little bit here and there. As time passed, people were beating the game. People were finding out, hey, look, there's a big twist in the game. And that twist basically made that story a legendary Star Wars story. And it's an all-time twist too. It's up, maybe not on the same level as I Am Your Father, but it's probably the second biggest twist in Star Wars storytelling. And once you find it out, once you play the game, once you see the YouTube videos, if you want to spoil yourself, if you don't know yet, if you didn't play that game, almost 30 years ago?
Yeah.
It's incredible. And of course, the remake, people keep on talking about it. It would be nice for it to be remade, but you can play the original game on your phone. I believe you can play it on consoles. You can, of course, play it on PC. But it's an incredible story, and it has to do with Darth Revan. And of course, all the rumors have been, all the fan castings have been Keanu Reeves for Revan. Now, Keanu Reeves was contacted to play Soul in the Acolyte. He passed on it. He said, no thanks, but keep me in mind for something else. This might be it. This might be the next big fan casting.
That would be crazy if they were to get him in there. I mean, that would just be the ultimate. Everybody, that's what everyone's, even me not being a big Knights of the Old Republic, gamer, or I have a lot of knowledge of it. I understand the importance of it, and the fact that for years everyone's been wanting Keanu Reeves in this thing. So that would be great. So we don't know anything about live action or animation. We don't even know a timeline or anything. We just know that this is something developing at Lucasfilm. Is that correct?
This is a rumor that this is going to be
Rumor.
a TV show. Yeah, it's not definite. But it's like I say all the time, it's such a slam dunk. I mean, it's just one of those properties within Star Wars that's going to get the people going, going to put butts in seats. It's going to make money. All the fans, especially like my age, I mean, that played the game, they're going to want to go and check it out. It's very dark. This isn't like Skeleton Crew. This is really dark. It has to do with Sith and Jedi. It takes place thousands of years ago. But there are some interesting characters. There are still droids. I mean, it's kind of weird to say, but it's like Star Wars in the Stone Age almost. But there's still technology and droid and stuff and ships. But it's interesting how technology hasn't advanced much in Star Wars. But
well, there's a whole war going on, so they were focusing on that part. So
right. We get to see multiple Sith. A lot of interesting characters. Check it out if you want to. If you're of a certain age that doesn't know the story, or just wait and get a really nice surprise if they use that original storyline. They could go a different route.
I mean,
I don't know.
Star Wars has been known to go a different route from what we're kind of wanting it to go. I mean, mind you, we did, I don't know, there was like that idea of what 7, 8, and 9 were supposed to be, and that Star Wars ended up going a different direction, and how Favreau and Filoni have been bringing in other parts of Legends and kind of, tweaking them a little bit to work for what they're creating. So it would be interesting to see if Lucasfilm follows the story of Knights of the Old Republic. Um, I'm actually voting towards they're not. I think they're gonna have a few things that are gonna match, but they're ultimately gonna create their own story for this. So that's my opinion. I think I don't know. But Darth Beard says we should have had Knights of the Old Republic first, then made their way to Acolyte. Maybe then more people would have liked it or understood it. Yeah, that was a discussion. My discussion was to do the Acolyte. And if Acolyte was a success, then you go back further, and then you just keep going back until you eventually get to the Knights of the Old Republic. Um, I mean, we'll see. I mean, we're gonna be looking out for any news that comes out of this. And as David said, this is all just a big rumor going around, and a few other people have picked it up and said, "Yeah, this rumor should be looked at." So, yeah.
So the big question to me is who is going to be selected? If let's just say this is greenlit, they're moving forward with this. Who would you get to handle such a project?
Oof.
Because you got to do it justice. You cannot give it the small scope treatment like they did with the Acolyte, even though the Acolyte cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Almost kind of doesn't make sense for it to be a TV show. It's if anything, it needs to be like even a movie trilogy. I mean, the name recognition is that big. I mean, you hear fans talk about it all the time, and then when it has like the Star Wars name, it has the crawl, all the branding, everyone knows where they're at. It's Star Wars. Just you can just do the trilogy in the theater, and people will come to check it out. I think.
I think, yeah, I think a trilogy of Knights of the Old Republic works better. A movie, not a show. Um, and like David said, it's everyone knows the name. You put that on a poster, Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, Episode 1. That's going to get so many people hyped. That's going to get so many people excited for this new chapter of Star Wars. And you're not really, I mean, yeah, you can affect what's going to happen in, of course, the Skywalker saga, but you can really just have your standalone story of what's going on with these characters. Um, I vote for a trilogy. I vote for a movie trilogy. As for who takes over, who gets this thing going, I have no idea. I don't know who do you think would be who would your pick be for running this thing?
You have to get either a big name or someone that really knows the lore
Mhm.
and can really kind of step into those shoes and give essentially the fans what they've been waiting for. Um, Apparently, there are some people in Hollywood that are high up there that are Knights of the Old Republic fans that are like really huge fans. One of them has already gotten away, and we talked about this on the podcast. I think we had this conversation earlier, but James Gunn
Oh,
is a
wow.
huge Knights of the Old Republic fan.
Well, he's out. There's no way
He's too busy doing his own thing. But we all know about Andor season 2. That's gonna wrap up. What is Tony Gilroy doing after that?
Oh, man. But does Tony Gilroy want to spend the next 10 years of his life putting this together? I mean, who
Well,
knows?
let's say
Maybe.
Andor season 2 is a huge, massive success, and
Mhm.
everyone's like, "Oh my god, this is brilliant! Star Wars brought back this, and this, and they gave us a variation of Star Wars that we weren't anticipating. This is prime Star Wars." And a lot like we've seen with like Marvel across the hallway, where they were trying to find directors for Avengers. They kept on asking all these other people when they
Yeah.
already had someone already in house that they could ask, in the Russo brothers for Marvel. We have Tony Gilroy. He's like a big time superstar, I mean, don't
That
let
is
him be a
true.
free agent for too long.
That is true.
I would want to secure him, and
Hmm.
the longer you wait, the more he's going to cost too.
True. I mean, he probably already cost a lot after that first season. I mean, they got Emmy nominations, Golden Globe nominations. Um,
Yeah,
Everyone loved it. You know what I mean? I think it was
yeah,
on a few of the top TV shows of the year when it came out. So, yeah, Tony Gilroy would be interesting because he would approach it as a story first and then Star Wars second, which I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, don't do that," but it's like he kind of figured it out with Rogue One how to do that, how to kind of make that work. Um, so I
right,
would
right,
I would love to see what he would look at the whole story of the Knights of the Old Republic and say, okay, this is the story we're gonna do, and this is how we're gonna do it. And then later we'll start to tie in a bunch of the Star Wars tropes that we know that the fans love.
right. And it's a very, like I said, dark adult, right up Tony Gilroy's alley. So hopefully we either get him or someone like him. But I would love. The more I think about it, the more I love it. Tony Gilroy in there. He doesn't take anything from anyone. You
Well,
know, he
here
does what he knows is going to work.
this would be the ultimate. All right. The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan just destroys, does a great job, which we're all
Mhm.
predicting it's probably going to be amazing. Then he jumps over into Knights of the Old Republic, and that's a new trilogy he's gonna produce and get going for Disney. That would be pretty cool. And he's a big gamer. He's also a pretty big nerd. Christopher Nolan is. I think they say he was playing Halo a lot. When they're making
Yeah,
Batman.
he was interested
So
in buying the rights.
I think he have them or he's talking about it. There's something going on with Halo and Christopher Nolan right now. Him and his brother, I think, are trying to get that
Right.
because
From
Jonathan Nolan, of
Paramount.
course, was very successful with Fallout. So I think, yeah, but Christopher Nolan would be amazing to lead the Knights of the Old Republic because it needs that. What's the word I'm looking? It needs that just epicness and that grounded feeling, and then to be in Star Wars, and then of course to have his storytelling I think would be the ultimate for that. But again, this is a big rumor. It says a TV show, but David and I are predicting it should be made into a movie, a trilogy, and yeah, I think that should happen.
Yeah, yeah. Let's look at some of these comments here. Um, Darth Beard says we need Knights of the Old Republic. Adam Haber says hola. Hello, Adam. Adam Locke says on YouTube, I'm honestly not a big gamer. Haven't played. Is it canon? So nothing is canon unless it was released after April 26, 2014, I believe.
Hmm.
So yeah, this was in 2003, but it's beloved by so many people. He says it sounds pretty cool. Yeah, Darth Beard says on YouTube, we should have had KOTOR first, then made their way to Acolyte. Maybe more people would have liked it, understood it. Um, yeah, we're kind of working backwards in a way with characters we didn't really know have a basis. Adam Locke says on YouTube, just looked it up, 2003 release date. And that was my first year in college, probably why I wasn't aware of it. Maybe I'll give it a go. It is worth playing. I downloaded it to my phone. I played it for a while. It's time consuming though. If you want to do everything, read every piece of dialogue, it's an RPG. Adam Haber on YouTube says, "Do you think we'll finally get to see John Cena in Star Wars like we all want? Perfect opportunity." Um, you know, when you say the name John Cena, it almost feels like it's a joke at first.
Yeah.
But John Cena is one of those guys who made himself a pretty good actor.
Hmm.
You see his work in the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and other films that he's done. He's pretty solid. Um, I mean, I'm open for anyone to be cast in Star Wars if they're cast appropriately, if they fit the part. I don't care who it is. I mean,
But
there's such a range of characters and archetypes and personalities that are out there in the universe. So
I feel with John Cena though, him being in a Star Wars movie, I think that would be a little too distracting. I think If the
Right. I think you
trailers
hit the
are,
nail right on the head there, James. It is a
yeah,
little distracting when you see John Cena.
because everyone's just gonna be just doing the, and his name is John Cena, and I think it would be a
Yeah.
little, even if he's giving, of course, like David said, he's great. I've seen him act.
Yeah.
He's really good, and it sucks that he kind of has that over him, hovering over him. So
Right.
I'm
Okay.
wondering what you got.
So since you said that, would someone like a Chris Evans be distracting?
I think so. I think anybody, yeah, Chris Evans would be very distracting as Star Wars character because he's great as Captain America.
Right.
He's awesome, but
But he
I
totally
just
worked in The Glass Onion, right?
uh Knives Out. He was in the first one. Yeah, he was
Oh,
great. Yeah, he was amazing. It's just his last few movies haven't been that great, which is why I think he's coming back as Captain America. The rumor is he's going to be coming back as Captain America because I don't think that post Avengers career didn't take off as well as he thought it was going to take off. So,
right.
but yeah, John Cena and Chris Evans, I think, would be a little too distracting, in my opinion. Um, Darth Beard says Nolan has my vote. Take all my money. Yes. Uh, Nolan, anything Star Wars would be great, but Nolan, producing and getting Knights of the Old Republic would be pretty great. Mai says, Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you. Marina says, I love John Cena as Peacemaker. I think he'd come off and, yeah, I agree. But then I think that would just get more of the memes going. You can't see me. Anyways, because he couldn't see his face because he'd be masked. But I think that'd be pretty funny. Adam Haber says, I absolutely hate how my question didn't frazzle you and turn into something legitimate. You're welcome. Yeah, yeah. Because
Well,
I've
I mean,
seen,
you got to take all like every question, every thought into a legitimate argument, I think, because sometimes when people cast other people, even when you see official castings, it looks on the surface to be ridiculous, but I mean, you look at back in 1989 when Michael
yep.
Keaton was cast, I had all my cousins saying, how could they cast Beetlejuice as Batman? That's ridiculous. And it's like, well, I mean,
Yeah, it was.
let's pause here and
What
are
did
you guys sure that this is not going to work? Because why would they trust this guy to
yep.
be front and center in the Cape and Cal? You know, it's like I think they figured out that it's going to work.
That reminds me of what did Kevin Smith say? Kevin Smith was like, what was it? Oh, he said Michael Keaton broke the internet before the internet even existed. Like the
Yeah,
outcry of Michael Keaton being cast as Batman was insane. It was on the front page of the New York Times. I think Wall Street Journal even ran the story. Like, what is Warner Brothers doing? Movie comes out, and I think Michael Keaton is the best Batman we've ever had. And it's so yeah, I agree with David. Is you can't, you know some casting work. I mean, we don't think it works. Like Heath Ledger, I didn't think was going to work. I was like, he's a great actor, but can he pull off this type of role? And then we get the first teaser of The Dark Knight, and we just went, oh, okay, that was Heath Ledger's voice. Didn't sound anything like him. And then, of course, some people say he's one of the best villains that's ever been in a movie. So, yeah, joke about John Cena. David and I have learned our lesson, and we take everything very seriously about, except for this one though, which is Lizzo and Jack Black. That was, I feel like Jack Black should have. If you're gonna put Jack Black in Star Wars, he should not be playing himself. Like it would have been better if Jack Black played a very straight, just serious role in that. And I think a lot of people would have been like, "Oh, that's cool," but you see Jack Black, he's great. He's a very talented person. You're like, it's just Jack Black. I just can't see him doing anything else.
and you kind of want to think of him as like maybe a droid voice too. You know?
Yeah, that would work. I
Yeah.
could see that.
But he
Uh,
did do a voice of a type of droid in, I think, Borderlands, right?
yeah, which some people say was the worst movie of
Yeah.
2024.
The party
Uh,
at Comic-Con was awesome, though.
I could imagine. It's very colorful. I could imagine.
All the
We have,
reps from that studio were very nice to us.
we have a hot take from Mariana here. Mark Hamill is distracting in Star Wars. Uh-oh. Are you trying to stir the pot here? You're trying to stir the pot here. Adam, no, not Adam, but you are. And then he agrees with us. And we're gonna do a Batman podcast here. Let's just switch gears and do a Batman podcast. I'm kidding, but yeah,
There
the
is some
19
crossover there, James.
what with Batman and
Yeah.
Star Wars. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's plenty of crossover with Batman and Star Wars. I'm trying to think, who do we have? I mean, the Batman. You have Andy Serkis.
So on the
Alfred.
new Falcon, they put a model of the Batmobile like underneath.
Oh, that's right. They have the tumbler on
Yeah.
the Falcon. And then what didn't Nolan do something? I thought he did something interesting with Interstellar, or no, was it a Tenet? I just remember, I don't know, but I think that was really funny for J.J. Abrams to say we're going to put a tumbler on the Millennium Falcon, but yeah, Knights of the Old Republic. I guess everyone's excited for this news. I really hope it happens. And David said something to me earlier today. We talked on the phone, and some of the word on the street is there's a lot of Star Wars projects going on behind the scenes right now that they're not telling us about. There are so many stories that are being developed, so many series, and maybe even a movie that are being developed that they're not even telling us. So it's not like, Lucasfilm is just doing nothing and just releasing Skeleton Crew. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes. So that's something fun to think about. I agree about Jack Black. This is Adam Locke, which has the best. He has a great YouTube icon there. Just like how they used Paul Soon-Hung Lee. He was completely different than his role. Yeah. So I think if Jack Black were to be in, which he was, but I wish they would have given him something different. I mean, I felt like maybe Christopher Lloyd did great. I mean, yeah, he kind of played the mad scientist again, but it was like, oh, it was different. It was a different type of Christopher Lloyd than we were used to seeing. So, yeah.
So yeah, Bespin Bulletin actually ran a story in December about an executive talking about multiple projects, and I guess it kind of flew under the radar because it was Christmas time and all that. But yeah, apparently Jeff Snyder, who also is a scooper, he said that there's also projects that the public isn't aware of that Lucasfilm is working on. So it seems like there's all this stuff that's going on that we don't really know about. Did they kick it into high gear after that investment call in 2019 where it was like they had nothing to talk about and they just like started like, you get a movie, you get a series.
You get a movie, yeah.
Did the whole Oprah thing. I hope there is. But then again, I mean, I hope film comes back strong and hard for Star Wars and we get a lot of film projects and maybe the spin-offs from those films become like the TV shows.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that'd be nice.
And it's maybe something like akin to just kind of like supplement to the films in a way.
I remember early on whenever Disney announced that they bought Lucasfilm and they were going to be putting out a Star Wars movie, and then David remembers when they were like, "You're going to get a Star Wars movie every year." Was kind of what was talked about. And some people were reporting that they were going to use the episodic movies like the Avengers being the big movie, and then the in between years would be the like say 2015, then 2016, then the movie after that would be a continuation of episode 7, but just like a smaller type of story that would then build up to episode 8. And then episode 8 would be the big Avengers style movie. That was a rumor and that was a discussion and I had read about when this had all first started. This was back in 20 when did he sell Lucasfilm? Like 2012,
2012.
And I remember reading that going, that would be crazy to get Star Wars movies like that, but ultimately didn't happen. But yeah, I think Mandalorian and Grogu, the movie, is gonna set a lot of things in motion for Star Wars. I think if Mandalorian and Grogu is as successful, does make that $1 billion profit in the box office, I think then that will probably give Star Wars back its confidence to do more projects, because as we all know, Solo and the Rise of Skywalker, they did make their budgets. Rise of Skywalker did make, I think, close to $1 billion, which is pretty impressive for any movie, but it wasn't the box office they were hoping for those movies. So yeah, it's so weird that scared them so much that they just stopped everything and said, "Okay, we're gonna focus on other things." But I'm really hoping Mandalorian and Grogu gives Lucasfilm that confidence back to get Star Wars back in theaters every year from then on.
Feels like it's going to be a big hit no matter what. Even if they just play it safe, it's going to be a big hit. But I'd love to see them take some chances with Mando Grogu. Haven't seen anything yet, but hopefully in Japan, where James and I will be there, we get to see. James
I
always
told you
looks up.
we still gotta work on this. I'm gonna step away really quickly, but David, keep going. I'll be right back.
So yeah, I'm going to read that article from Bespin Bulletin that dropped back in December here that seemed to fly under the radar here. So it says Star Wars fans are currently enjoying the latest Disney Plus release from Lucasfilm, Skeleton Crew, a series from creators John Watts, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Christopher Ford, Chaos Walking. Post Skeleton Crew, there's only 2 live-action Star Wars series that fans could expect to arrive on the streaming service in the next 2 years. The second and final season of Andor, which arrives in April, and the second season of Ahsoka, which won't debut on the small screen until sometime in 2026. Things look pretty quiet for Star Wars on the small screen, but a Disney executive has just given fans hope that more series are on the horizon. During an interview with Vulture, where many of Disney's franchises were discussed, Alan Bergman chatted a little bit about Star Wars and revealed that Disney is currently looking at a number of additional series that are in development, and that Disney were evaluating the situation before deciding what to do, but emphasized that the series need to be great, which is a great sign, and that Disney have what we want before they move forward on any of them. You can read Bergman's quote below, which I'll read. It's pretty short. He says, "We're looking at a number of additional series that are in development. We'll see what we decide to do. As I said earlier, they have to be great. And when we're in the position where we think we have what we want, we're going to move forward," via Alan Bergman, via Vulture. In the same interview, Bergman confirmed past reports that The Acolyte was canceled due to the show's performance and how much the series cost to produce. The cost didn't justify the viewership. Bergman added that they're currently in the process of analyzing the performance of Skeleton Crew and that the studio would have to wait to see how all that plays out as it moves forward, likely before deciding its fate. Though Bergman said that had some growth on the series. Earlier this week, it was revealed that Skeleton Crew failed to make it into Variety's top 10 streaming originals chart for second week in a row, the only Star Wars series to not enter a top 10 streaming originals chart upon its debut. Whatever Lucasfilm are currently developing, I don't expect a formal announcement from the studio until Star Wars Celebration in April, which makes total sense, where the studio will likely give an update on their film slate and announce what's next for Star Wars on Disney+. Post Andor and Ahsoka. The next Star Wars theatrical release is The Mandalorian Grogu, which is due to hit theaters on May 22nd, 2026. And there's an untitled Star Wars film dated for release on December 17th, 2027. So there you go. That's basically the most current news right now. Looking at your comments here. Let me see. Adam Locke on YouTube says Grogu is such a lucrative character, Disney will milk him as long as they can. It feels like they haven't milked him as much as they could have. This Mando Grogu movie, it's taken a long time to kind of like get out there. I think all of our original thoughts were okay. Season 1 was a big hit. Put season 2 in the theater and just go with film releases, because that's where you can make your money. It's not so much with memberships on streaming, and I think that was kind of like the big pitfall, and that's why Bob Iger's like, yeah, we need to get back to the theater because that's where you can make a lot of money. You make money there, then you make money on physical media, which is unfortunately dying, and then of course it goes to streaming. And I can really see a time period where Disney might license some of their stuff Maybe they might do the legacy stuff first, license that out so they can kind of get that whole kind of DVD cycle that they had back in the day where they would almost like release the film multiple times, where you could do theatrical, physical, a video on demand, and then streaming. Hit like 4 points of revenue on whatever you release. So what do you think about that, James? Do you think that Lucasfilm has milked, so to speak, the character of Grogu? They could have done a whole lot more, don't you think?
It's interesting. I think it's interesting with Grogu because we haven't seen Grogu in 2 years already. That I think that time it's a little nervous to think that Grogu might not have the same appeal in another year. I mean, for me, that goes to like maybe Stranger Things, how it's been so long that I'm like, do I even care about what happens in the finale? Same with that show Yellowstone that came out where I was like watching it. And then this last season, it was so long that I was like, I don't even care about those characters anymore. And I'm wondering if that's what's gonna happen with Grogu. And it makes me nervous if that's what's gonna happen with Grogu because Grogu is a very, as you know, Adam says, is a very lucrative character, and for Star Wars, I mean, that kind of brought Star Wars back for this generation. I mean, it was crazy the amount of Grogu stuff we saw, and right now I have a poster of Grogu right above my computer, and so I don't know. We'll see what they do with him. I think they need to do something to remind the public he's still there. I think that's another thing we need to kind of remind people. Oh, hey, by the way, Grogu is still in Star Wars. Don't forget that he's going to be in his own movie here very soon. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Grogu showing up as Skeleton Crew would make sense because story wise and what's going on, that would make sense. But we'll see. We'll see what I really hope they don't get tired of him, the public.
God, May 2026 feels so far away right now.
It does, but you know what else felt very far away was Celebration Japan, and that's already in a couple of months. So it's like, well, that's already
more than a couple of months, but
I mean April. We're in okay.
A couple's two, James.
A few. Okay, how about I say a few months? A few months away, we're gonna get Celebration, and that went by really quick. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. What do we got? Darth Beard. Skeleton Crew is a good way to do it. One big name, the rest are relative unknowns. Too many big names, and it takes you out of it. Matt Damon, Cillian Murphy are Star Wars. I could see, like, if you're gonna have a big actor like Matt Damon or Cillian Murphy, like they just have like a one-off, like a little role like in the background and they leave, like that, almost like the Daniel Craig cameo. But Cillian Murphy, I don't know, he has a different type of star power than say, Matt Damon would have. And I think having him being in a Star Wars project, I think would actually do pretty good to let us know that he's in. What do you think? Like Cillian Murphy popping up somewhere?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts on this because who do you think's the better actor, Jude Law, Cillian Murphy, or Matt Damon?
Ooh, man.
In a Star Wars capacity.
Honestly, I think Cillian Murphy would be the better actor in Star Wars. Matt Damon, I love Matt Damon. The Bourne trilogy, I didn't see anything past the Ultimatum, but even The Departed, which I felt he was very he wasn't given a lot of recognition for his role in The Departed. He's amazing, but I think Cillian Murphy in Star Wars makes sense, and weirdly enough.
Right. It feels like Cillian Murphy does make more sense than all three of them, but with what Jude Law is doing right now, he's totally convinced me, man, that his acting, man, is so good in the Skeleton
he's
Crew.
Amazing. I need more Jude Law. I feel like he's not doing that. He should be doing more with the show, but I get that the show is about the kids. I need more Jude Law for me to feel that way. Because right now I'm just like, okay, he's there.
Right. So that brings me to the next rumor.
Uh-oh.
It's rumored that this next episode tomorrow, which we'll be doing a pre-show and post-show for.
Oh, yeah, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, came quick, huh? The rumor is we're going to get a backstory episode for his character.
Ooh, that'd be good. That'd be very good.
which I think a lot of us were kind of clamoring for early on in the season, where we wanted like another TV series for that, or a movie, or something like that,
Yeah.
where it feels like there's a lot of meat on that bone, where he has a terrific backstory. Are we gonna force back to like a Order 66 thing?
Oh
Is it
man, can
gonna
you
be him
imagine?
and his master when he was a little kid? I mean, what are we gonna get? I mean, they've already shown us a lightsaber. They're not afraid to use lightsabers in the show. So, are we going to see him training?
That would be so. Are we gonna get a flashback episode or not? Like, tell me right now, David. Or is that just the rumor going around? Because now that you said it, I need that to happen in this next episode.
It's a heavy rumor right now. I think
A
it might
heavy
actually happen.
That would be something really great. Noah says Grogu would be a great character for a time jump after Filoni movie wraps up. There's only so much you can do with a non-speaking child alien, and yeah, that's another thing. What's he gonna sound like when he starts to speak? Adam, the answer is no. I am not going to give the fans my address. Is that what he's asking, James? What will it take for you? No, no. You can't have people. I think there's only one person in chat who lives near me, and that's Mariana. But I'm just no. That's not happening. Yeah, I agree with Noah. I think eventually we'll see Grogu as an English-speaking adult like Yoda and something down the line, a movie perhaps. Yeah, that would be interesting. I'm just curious what his voice is going to sound like. Darth Beard, Jude Law does anything good. He was great in AI, so he can do. Dude, he was amazing in AI. That movie, I feel bad for Spielberg because he released two really great movies in his career that got overshadowed. One of them was Amistad, which got overshadowed by Titanic, and the other one was Artificial Intelligence (AI), which got overshadowed by Fellowship of the Ring that same year. I mean, it had all the technical stuff. Visual effects were top line. Dennis Muren, I think, was the visual effects supervisor for that movie. All of them are there. Sound effects, visual effects, acting, technically great. The score by John Williams was amazing. But then when Lord of the Rings came out, nobody remembered AI. But anyways, that's a whole other topic.
What did Ready Player One get overshadowed by?
The studio not knowing how to promote it, I think is how they got over.
Well, it was a summer release, right?
No, it was a March release. It was just
Well,
randomly.
March is kind of the start of the summer.
They should
Avengers, maybe, I don't know.
It should have had a December release. That movie should have been the big movie of the Christmas holiday. But
feels like it would be a nice Christmas film.
Yeah, I agree. Said today if she could describe the next episode in one word, what she would say. She said death. Ooh.
Do you think that Lucasfilm would have
a kid die?
The intestinal fortitude to have one of these kids die?
That, I mean, the Acolyte. Okay, you forget the Acolyte did it. They killed what's her name, the apprentice, very horrifically. Manny Jacinto.
Jackie?
Yeah, Jackie.
She wasn't really a kid though.
But she was a apprentice. You know, she was supposed to be.
I mean, these are like 12-year-old kids. Jackie was like a young adult.
All I know is when she died, that made me go, "Whoa, that's wild." They killed off an apprentice in Star Wars, and kind of graphically, like the way she was stabbed. It was like, "Oh, she's dead," and it was crazy. So
yeah.
I wouldn't put it past Lucasfilm to do that, but it does seem rather strange to do that because you want these kids to maybe be in the next project. We'll see. Noah says a backstory would be great to start a potential second season. It feels like we're too late in the game for that. And yeah, I agree. It's like, man, we're already near the end. Do we have enough time to do this type of backstory episode?
And of course, this was all filmed like 2 years ago. So, I mean, I guess they possibly could have tinkered with it, but I don't think that happened.
I'm curious to see how it would. I mean, mind you, we did get a Grogu flashback in season 3 of Mando, and that didn't mess with the pacing of how the season was progressing. So I think they could do something similar where they kind of give us just like a quick little, maybe 5 or 6 minute long flashback with Jude Law's character Jod, And I could see that maybe working. I don't know.
Get his Jedi name.
That'd be, or yeah, it would be his actual name, like the name. That name no longer has any meaning for me. Noah says this flashback may throw off the story, may throw off the pacing. We'll see. I don't know. I think they can make it work if they do it a certain way, because we still have what, 2 more after tomorrow's episode, right? So they could still wrap it up pretty well. Jackie was supposed to be 13 or 14, I think. Ahsoka, and yeah, she's supposed to be youngish. I know the actress who played her, I think, is in her.
I just looked it up, and
How
that
old is she?
is not correct. Jackie
How old is she?
Long from the TV series The Acolyte is 18 years old.
Oh, so Jackie,
She's just a tiny person. She's just very, very short. Yeah.
All right, well, good to know. But I don't put it past them to kill off one of these characters, but I don't think they will, because it's I don't know. They've kind of established them pretty well, and killing one of them off would just be really crazy and wild to do. You think they would do it?
Everything tells me no, they wouldn't, but I wouldn't be that surprised.
It's neat.
But I mean, they're this is kind of a throwback to like Amblin and all that stuff and Goonies.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, some people say that there are influences from Stand By Me as well. And in Stand By Me, did one of those kids die in that movie? I don't remember. I know it was about a dead body, but
no, yeah. River Phoenix's character, he what happened?
I think I'm thinking about Lord of the Flies.
You might be thinking of Lord of the Flies, but River Phoenix's character dies off screen. Richard Dreyfuss's character is narrating what happened and how he got stabbed.
Okay.
And which, I'm sorry if you've never seen Stand By Me. Good grief, I apologize. If you have, it's a great movie. If you have it, I am so sorry. You just missed out on a great movie. But maybe it's flashback death of all the pirates. Yeah, that could be a thing
Captain
where we just
Renan.
yeah. Donner backwards, which is great. Yeah, that could be a good episode where I mean, that could be the death that we're all thinking about, but I don't think that one of the main characters is gonna die. That would just be too much. Like if it's Neil, like everybody would be distraught if that happened.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that would be very distracting.
Yeah, I would.
So many people would just be heartbroken if
I would be heartbroken. Regarding Tak Renaud, do you think they're saving his appearance for something special or maybe a future project? A Tak Renaud miniseries serving as an introduction to the Old Republic would be cool. It is weird that we haven't gotten his, like, the way they shot that scene and was like, oh, are y'all preparing us for something, or what is this? It looks like they were just getting us ready for something else that's going to happen.
Because, why the mystery?
Yeah, why the mystery about what he looks like?
But I mean, you can see him if you piecemeal all like the images together. He looks like a Weequay.
Mm.
So who do we know that's a Weequay?
It's
some of the guards on the skiffs on the.
How great it would be if it's Hondo's like father or something. You know? What is it? Sorry, one of our. Hey, what are you doing? You're supposed to be messaging us on here, Adam. Stop that. Anyways, Adam just texted us.
Oh, I didn't even see it.
Yeah, Adam just texted us right now. We met Adam in San Antonio. Great, it was funny, but yeah, it's funny. I'm like, dude, don't just tell us on here. If Neil dies, I'll send you my celebration badge. She's done with Star Wars after that. If Neil dies, that would just be. They wouldn't kill him though. He's such
That'd be terrible.
Character. But again, to make it more real, I mean, that's the character to kill is Neil. If you need to kill one of these kids off, which I hope they don't. I was watching Attack of the Clones. Attack Renaud's voice reminds me of Dexter Jex. Yeah, would that be interesting? Yeah, I mean, it could be anybody, but I like the idea that it's somebody related or close, or somehow Hondo is connected to them. That would be a really cool connection. And hell, we could get Hondo finally. I know Colin has been wanting that. Haley was on the other day, and then she just went off like saying, we need Hondo. Why not have Hondo? And it's about pirates, so come on. That's what I think. And it's played by Corey Feldman. Just kidding.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, it is a bit puzzling how Hondo hasn't factored into anything where because he's one of the most sophisticated, complex animatronics that you see at Galaxy's Edge, at both Galaxy's Edges.
I still remember when I took my brother to Smuggler's Run. On Smuggler's Run, Hondo starts speaking, and my brother just looks at me and goes, James, very serious. Is he real? Just so I was like, yeah. He's like, don't give me that Disney. No, is he real? Like, is that like he was so he was like, I need to know if this guy is real. It was so funny. Yeah, Adam. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, he agrees that Corey Feldman should play that role. I don't expect Hondo, but I'd be disappointed if we don't get him. It's hard not to. Again, it's about pirates, and even Book of Boba Fett. That was a great opportunity to bring him in because he's all these other people are coming into town. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense that we haven't seen Hondo yet, even though a few stories have said, yeah, he should probably be the one. He should be in here. So, Darth Beard is leaving us, heading off to sleep, guys. Catch up next time. Keep on potting. May the force be with you. Thank you very much, Darth Beard. We appreciate you helping out and for supporting us. And let me see if I can do a thumbs up here. Nope. You should be getting a thumbs up.
Thanks, Darth Beard.
Yeah, there we go. Which, again, like I say, is the greatest name I've ever heard. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Knights of the Republic, and we'll see how tomorrow's episode goes. I forgot it's already next week. It's already tomorrow. So, and we left off at a really good spot in last week's episode. So,
the older you get, the faster time goes.
I don't like that. Don't say that, please. I know it's true. But
so I'm telling you, James, you need to go to Japan.
All right, everybody here in chat, do I need to go to Japan for Star Wars Celebration? If Neil is alive, should I still go to Star Wars Celebration?
Just type Japan in chat if you want to see James.
Yeah, if you think I need to go to Japan,
James in Japan.
Type James in Japan if you think so. Nobody types it. Watch. So
nobody says anything.
Everybody's like, "Nah, we're good." Absolutely, you do. Okay. Somebody said yes. But anyways, what else do we have on the agenda today?
All right, so we talked about Knights of the Republic being a TV show. We talked a little bit about Jad Nanawood's possible backstory. We talked a little bit about Japan. Noah Richard says, the Force seems to want you to go to Japan, James.
I'll grab a Japan. I'll grab a 7-Eleven coffee.
Oh, looks like Mariana knows some Japan tips there.
Oh, you know some. Oh, okay, good. Because if we go, we're gonna need all the help we can get.
So yeah, if James goes to Japan, I'll be the camera guy and I'll just be filming James the whole time in Japan.
No, we'll vlog like we did in Chicago, which that was so much fun. I still reference those videos. Those were a lot of fun to do.
And we'll see James trying wasabi from Japan. We'll see James drinking sake.
Oh no, I want to be able to enjoy it and not just get hammered while I'm there. Because, geez, I want to be able to enjoy Japan.
Yeah, someone told me like, "Did you get a tattoo?" And I'm like, "I want to enjoy Celebration, man. I don't want to be all sore on my arm."
Yeah, because in case y'all don't know, at Celebration they have the tattoo artist there, and you have to like reserve your spot, and you go and you get your tattoo at Celebration on the show floor. And yeah, you're like, I'm gonna be in pain the whole time. I'm gonna be like, oh, don't touch my shoulder, please.
So yeah, and though you got to make appointments way ahead of time.
Yes.
And there's one celebration where a lot of chairs were open, and I was like thinking about it. I was like,
no.
Can I get maybe like something tiny?
Just something that says Star Wars right there. Conveyor belt sushi. I've gone to a few of them here in LA, and they are awesome. They're really, really cool. And before you know it, it's very expensive. The only tattoo I want to get is I have two ideas, but one of them is to get a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
That's right, the one I was gonna get.
Are you serious? Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Okay, here's the thing, James.
My chest right here. I'm just kidding.
Ah, man, it's yeah. Well, so if James and I are in Japan, we need to get matching tattoos.
No. Even though like that's a place to probably get a tattoo because I don't know Japan's culture and their artists.
That would be a great story, James. Where'd you get your tattoo at? Japan. Oh my god! Just like Jack from Lost.
No, I don't know. She's Mariana, knock it off. She's over here really just trying to get me to go to Japan right now. Also, the yen is super cheap right now, so I'd exchange currency soon, which is
Yeah,
true. I did look that up. That is true right now.
that is
A star
true.
crawl back tattoo or a chest piece would be pretty funny. I think I saw a picture of a guy who had the New Hope
Oh
the
my
call
gosh.
New Hope tattooed on his back. Okay, Adam figured it out. One of you get a long time ago, and the other gets in a galaxy far, far away, like across your back's medieval font. No, not the medieval font. It has to be the Star Wars font, or it's just gonna look weird.
It's gonna look
Anyway,
like we're in a gang.
yeah. Uh-oh. Do it. Oh, jeez. Y'all are very fun. But
Yeah, I think we're gonna get tattoos, James and I.
oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that just happened all of a sudden.
Maybe it'll just say stuff.
Just stuff.
It'll say stuff in Japanese.
Y'all could,
and then later on we come back to the States, someone that knows Japanese. Why does it say you love ramen noodle? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, why does it say you? Yeah. Have you seen those pictures though? Like where like it's somebody from. Anyways, I don't want to talk. Anyway, but yeah, on your face. No, like and the other
Mike Tyson tattoo.
The other tattoo I want to get is here on my arm, and it's for my mother. It's a in memory of my mother, and because when she was sick, I bought her a stuffed porg, and she loved it, and she kept it with her at all times when she was sick, and she loves strawberries, so it's a picture of a porg holding a strawberry. Like that for me would be my first tattoo, and then later on I would get a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away there. And then maybe the Godfather on this arm over here, the bat signal. And that's a thing I've heard is as soon as you get one tattoo, it's over. Like you're just going to be all tatted up here before you realize it. So,
well, your first tattoo is going to be stuff in Japanese. Stuff. Yeah. Colin's going to hate the fact that he's not there.
Oh, yeah. Colin's going to be really, really like, dude, this was the coolest
dude, thing. Dude, you didn't wait? Dude.
Oh, gosh, Colin. Adam, thank you, Adam. I appreciate it. That's the right reason to get one. Yeah, because two of my siblings have already have strawberries on their arms, so I was like, I'm gonna be a little different. But yeah, so Japan, we'll see what happens in a few months, not in a couple of months, but in a few months, it's gonna happen. So, and then Mariana will be there, and a few other people.
If you go see us, you can get one of these.
Ooh, and it says Celebration Japan, right?
Yeah, with the Japanese flag.
We can't. Oh, okay. I see it. I see it now. Don't get too close.
My camera's going to go all out of focus.
Oh, that looks nice. I love it. Right, be careful. Yep. You might be out of. Now you're out of focus. I told you not to do that.
Look,
put your hand up and then now put your hand back. There you go. You're good.
Yeah.
Look at you. We figured it out.
Using the force.
I got my first one at 18. I'm currently 37. I have 26 tattoos, including stars. I have 26 tattoos. Jeez.
That's going to be James.
Oh, man. The sticker is going on my water bottle. Yeah. Actually, I think I have one of them on my water bottle, too. Yeah, I have it there. And I even have the magnet on my refrigerator from Anaheim, which was a lot of fun. Anyways, what are we talking about? Star Wars?
Talking about Star Wars. Yeah, we talked about KOTOR, John's backstory. So the other big story that I wanted to kind of address, it's possibly a spoiler for Andor Season 2.
Oh, boy.
So if you don't want to listen to it, if you don't want to hear it, it's a rumor. I don't know. It's not from a trusted source, but I thought it was really interesting. James, I guess cover your ears if you don't want to hear this. But it's a character that we've been talking about for a long time that we've wanted to see in live action. Who do you think it is, James? Let's see how many guesses it takes for you to hit the character that's rumored to make an appearance in Andor Season 2.
So we are right at the beginning of the rebellion. We're going to lead right into A New Hope. Or, I'm sorry, to Rogue One, which leads into A New Hope. So these characters... Is it a clone trooper?
No hints.
Oh,
just start naming names. It's a name.
You can't do that.
Noah guess. Kaden Jars. Nope.
That's a pretty good guess, though. I'm sorry.
That's a really good guess.
That's a great
guess. I mean, that would make a lot of sense, man.
Oh, man.
And you know what? I did see someone post something about we're going to get some characters we're not expecting. And this is definitely a character we're not expecting.
Gotcha. Damn. Star Killer?
And no.
Who could it be? I mean,
It's
yeah,
right on the tip of your
that's where I went with Adam. That's exactly
cerebral
what I was
cortex.
thinking.
No, not
That's
Rex.
why I asked the Clone Trooper, because
Yeah.
that's the only one I could see that would be all go, oh my gosh. Are they from Legends, or have we seen them already in
I'm
live
not gonna.
action?
If I give a hint, you're gonna guess it right away. I mean, it's right there.
It's right there.
Yeah, it's.
Is it back? Is it
I
behind
don't
me right
think
now?
that character might
Is
not
it
be on
Darth
your
Maul right
wall.
there in my poster? That doesn't make sense.
No,
No, it doesn't.
no.
Almost. Who is it?
Who's a character we wanted to see in live action? Who we always talk about on this podcast?
There's so many people we talk about on this podcast. Hondo.
Well, who is the actor that's like, why isn't he doing live action?
Oh, you talking about Cameron Monaghan? You talking about Cal Kestis? Okay, that makes sense for him to show up in Andor.
That's the rumor right now. Somebody said they spotted him on the set of Andor season 2.
I guess at first.
Which I don't know if that is legitimate or not. It didn't come from a trusted source. I don't know, but it's fun to think about. It's fun to like
imagine.
I mean,
but it works.
He's so primed to be in live action.
And yeah, the timeline where he's at makes sense for him to show up in Andor.
Right.
Like,
and you think about it, the third story for the video games, the trilogy, is done, so they know what's going to happen.
Yes.
So it won't conflict with anything in that game now. Right?
Whoa. Ooh, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Now I'm a little upset if he doesn't show up there. But unfortunately, I have to bounce. So sorry, everybody. I have a previous thing I have to go to. But thank you very much
previous
for
engagement.
Listening. Yeah, previous engagement. David, keep going, keep partying on. Everybody else, thank you.
No, I'm actually going to go to.
Oh, you're gonna go? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't cut the thing off. But
it's all good, guys. So yeah, we'll let James leave, and I'll close up the podcast.
All right.
But,
well,
yeah.
Y'all take care.
Bye, James. See you in Japan.
Right. Adios, sir. Just leaving. And there we go.
James just left. All right, yeah. I think James is going to Japan, guys. I really think he's going. So James did the thing that I did. He got a second job. So which I'm not sure if I'm even supposed to say, but and I was telling him for a while, I was like, hey man, if you really want to go to these things, it really helps out if you just get a second job. So I think he took my advice, and I think he'll be in Japan, I think, at this point. And I mean, I've been going back and forth too because of all like world events and possible situations and that type of thing. It's all the way in Japan. It's a 16-hour flight for me. So it's a ways out. But I think with all your guys' help in chat, especially telling them to go to Japan, I think it's helped. And there's going to be a lot of people. It's surprising to me how many people that we actually know are going to be there from the States, and also that live in Japan as well. But yeah, that's pretty much all the news for today. We're going to do a pre-show, post-show tomorrow. I really hope Cal Kestis shows up. And I think Ted was saying that Cameron Monaghan is actually close friends with someone in Star Wars already. I forgot who that person was. If you remember in chat, type the name. Adam Haber says, do you have any special access? No, we've never really had special access at Celebration because every time they've given us media badges, but all they do is they get you in the door. The media badge just says if there's an event where there's limited seating or whatever, the people that paid for their badge gets priority. So, and I've tried it before. I've tried going places where we're not supposed to, and I've been told, no, what are you doing? So, I mean, I've tried, and of course, we don't want to overstep our bounds, so to speak. So yeah, it's but there is a chance that I might be in one of the HoloNet stages, podcasting with our friends at Cantina Cast, possibly. I would love, my kind of dream now is at the 50th anniversary celebration for us to be finally up on stage as a Star Wars Stuff podcast. Because once Colin said he wasn't going to go, Colin was initially going to go, but of course his family is growing. He's about to have a son, so he didn't want to miss that. So he's staying in the States, and I would want all of us to be there. And the thought is that celebration is actually going to take place somewhere in the States, probably in Anaheim. That would make a lot of sense. Or Orlando. We're thinking Anaheim. James would have to just like roll out of bed and walk down the street if that was the case. Or actually not anymore because he doesn't live in Anaheim. But he lives very close. So yeah, that's the situation with celebration. But yeah, I'm really thinking now. I mean, I didn't even think about this before. Me and James getting Star Wars Stuff podcast tattoos in Japan. Nothing elaborate, but just like something to kind of commemorate the podcast and going all the way to Japan. I think that'd be really cool. So yeah, that is it. Pre-show, post-show tomorrow for episode 7, the penultimate episode of Skeleton Crew. I'd like to thank everyone here in chat. Mariana Arnold, Darth Beard, Adam Haber, Adam Luck, who said happy Monday, which it doesn't even feel like a Monday for whatever reason. Yeah, Darth Beard, Noah Richer, of course. Thank you all for contributing to the podcast tonight. And we're going to try and podcast more in the new year, like I said before. And I think we're off to a pretty good start. So definitely check us out an hour before episode 7 of Skeleton Crew drops tomorrow night. So thank you so much. For James, my name is David, and may the Force be with you always.